Hi guys, just want to do a review on this Makita 4-stroke blower. Very happy with this unit. I've had this unit, I can't quite put a date on it, but I'm thinking I've had this unit over 5 years, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. It's the model number BHX 2500CA, and yeah, I've never tried it without this snorkel extension, so I can't tell you what it does without it. But that said, come around over here. It's, it's not as light as maybe a comparable 2-stroke blower of similar power. Like I said, I've had this for a while. And there's your oil fill right here, right there. You turn it up on its end like this on a level surface. You try and level it off. They got a dipstick there, but I don't see the dipstick as much use. They also tell you to look down the hole when it's level. You should see just a hint of oil. So I rack it a little back and forth, and that's good enough. I don't mess with that dipstick. Oh, by the way, let's see. It takes 2.7 ounces of, I forget what weight, motor oil. The nice thing about the 4-stroke is you don't have to mix the gas and the oil. If you've got a 4-stroke lawnmower or other 4-stroke stuff, you just throw the gasoline in there, and you don't have to worry about mixing what ratio, I got the best 2-stroke oil, I got the worst, all that. You just throw your gasoline in there, and away it goes. I like using 93 and everything because a lot of the ratings for octane are different and from like Eastern countries rather than here. So sometimes I find if you use 87 octane on some equipment, you'll get a hit on the starter and it'll yank the cable out, the starter out of your fingers. That hurts. And when I switch to 93 and 91 octane, whatever you can get, it makes for a better, easier start. This thing, by the way, is very easy to start. Very easy to start. Hot start, cold start. Again, hot start, just no choke, no nothing, no bulb. You don't have to push it, but just one pull generally. And even cold start, I don't use the choke. Just a few pumps on the bulb. You guys know the deal. Leave it on idle, and it fires right up, and I feather the throttle, and away it goes. It's very, very, very easy to start. Hot start, cold start, very easy. Basically, I've got enough hours on this to choke a horse. I have never adjusted the valve lasher on this. Yeah, shoot me. I just haven't. I've always got something else to do. I did clean the air filter once or twice. That's easy enough. All the instructions are in the manual for that. The one thing I did have trouble with, the little screws that hold this guy on here. I had, I think one fell out, and I went to start it, and I didn't realize that this was loose, and I wound up having to, not being able to start it back up. I couldn't find it. I found one screw. It was 2 screws fell out. I found one, and that was good enough to get it fired back up without the 3rd screw, I believe. Anyway, I ordered a screw, right size. I didn't want to clown with it. I wanted the exact screw, and I pulled all the screws, Loctited them up with Loctite glue, and put them back in. I haven't had any trouble with it since. And that's been the only trouble I've had with this blower. One of the things I don't like about this, and no pun intended, this fuel fill. If you're not careful and tighten this guy up, when you're changing hands, this brushes by. And more than once, I've had this cap come out and be hanging there like that while I'm using it, splashing gasoline all over me. Dangerous situation. All it needed was a source of ignition, and I would have been in the local burn center. That's the only beef that I have with this thing. Here's your cruise control. Here's how fast it go, right? And if you pull that in, it'll lock up. Now, you can't, once that's locked in, you can't vary anything. You got to pick the speed you want with the how fast it go here, and then lock it in. And you're in that mode. If you want to increase the speed a little bit to get a certain area, you're kind of screwed. You got to undo the cruise control, and there's your on and off. Easy. One thing I like about this is at idle, you can get down around your delicate plants, your wife's delicate plants, so you don't blow them into the yard. They stay in the socket, they stay in the ground, they don't leave. You can get really low flows out of this. That's nice. And then when you gun it, give it the beans, it does the job. And I think it doesn't have that ear-piercing two-stroke noise to it. Yeah, you're going to need ear protection. All these blowers, you're better off using hearing protection. But this doesn't have that high-pitched ear-ringing noise. It just sounds like, sort of like a lawnmower, four-stroke lawnmower. So, I'll tell you a little story about this. When I got this became my go-to blower. I had a backpack, a Poland with a Kawasaki engine on it, and I had that for a few years. But when I got this became my go-to blower. And the reason for that was wasn't as powerful as the backpack blower, but it was a lot easier to just grab this thing. And by the time I bought this, I was off onto a lot of electric stuff for yard care. And there wasn't too much in the line of blowers at that time that were, battery powered stuff, and I didn't want corded. So anyway, long story short, I never used a backpack again. I used this, and I wound up giving the backpack blower away. Anyway, that's it for me. Again, I would say happy blowing, but something about that doesn't sound right. You all be safe and have fun with your leaf blowers. Bye now.